Hey everyone, it's Shot back into the video, and we are returning with the RUJAGO in Queen 14 this time, Hell Stage 2. I made a video on this guy just before the Stage 14 dungeons came out, and now he is back, and we're going to be showcasing him in the comp. So let's jump to it. So here we are, Queen 14, or Hell Stage 2, and this is going to be the comp. We're running Zatlux, Mythasia, Santis, and RUJAGO. RUJAGO and Mythasia are extremely important, and they're the unique part of this comp. Almost every Queen comp runs Zatlux and Santis. This is pretty free-to-play friendly. For those of you that don't have a Yolanda, but happen to start with someone like Mythasia, or happen to pull a Mythasia, this is going to give you another option in that way. And RUJAGO is critical here. He's in here for the attack down in the unhealable. Now, I've tried to run some replacements for him, but you'll see when we get to the boss fight in the run later on how important RUJAGO here is specifically. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run just the first wave just to showcase what this comp is doing and how it works, at least for the first couple of waves, before I jump into the gear and then our official run here. And we're going to be running the healing spell and the defense down, so I'm just going to go and showcase that and just run through the first couple of steps so you all know what's going to be happening here. Now, it's super important that we have everyone go before the boss or the waves here. That way we can go ahead and kill off the waves in a relatively quickly speed here, as well as making sure that we do not get hit by two of the AoEs from these guys, and we cannot use any replacement for Mythasia for this comp. It is very critical that we're using Mythasia. You'll see here, what we're going to be doing is just going to go ahead and cycling through our moves, as I'm showcasing here, using our ultimates. Santis will be on basic only, and then we're going to go ahead and get to this turn here, and this is the very critical stage, and I wanted to showcase Mythasia for this. This is abusing Mythasia's revive. We are going to go ahead and get smacked by this AoE, and 9 out of 10 times, all of our characters are going to die, and we're just going to pick them all right back up with Mythasia's revive here. And really, the auto attack from the crab doesn't do a crazy amount of damage. It's really all about that second skill that they have, and we're just going to get right back up, and we're going to go ahead and cycle through our moves and just kill through this wave, and then it's right back on track into the second wave with our Zatlux, and it's like nothing ever happened. So that's why Mythasia is so good. But let's jump into the gear and then kind of explain a little bit more about this comp in regards to why we're running RUJAGO here. So here we are, and we're going to start off with RUJAGO here, obviously the namesake of this comp. Now, for those of you that watched my previous video on RUJAGO for Queen 12, we're using RUJAGO because he's got the unhealable on the ultimate on a 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns. So we're basically bypassing the right crab that heals, so we can go straight for the boss. Now, previously for Queen 12, there's a couple of options. Things like Hulins, things like Freya, things like now Urzag or Crazed Urzag. These are all not going to work for Queen 14. Unless you have absurdly good tank gear, which I don't even want to upgrade. Most of my gear here is plus 12, as you could see. And we're using RUJAGO for this passive right here. When he's attacked, he's going to guarantee apply an attack down on the target. So that's going to work on both side adds, and it's going to work on the boss. It's going to save us so much damage in the long run and allow our whole team comp to survive. This is crucial. It's not going to work without this guy. I tried Freya, I tried Hulins. They are just not tanky enough. Now, we are using that unhealable on the ultimate here, and we are going to be running a revival set. Now, we could get a lot of extra stats here if we plus 15 our gear, and it would improve our runs, and I'll go ahead and talk about all that when we actually run the run. But the stats that we are going to need are as follows: at least 19k HP, 1400 defense, 147 speed. You're going to need to go before the boss adds, but after the boss itself. It's very important that you get the unhealable right in between those two. And so that's going to be, I'm not 100% sure on the Queen 14 speed specifically. I believe it's about 143 for the adds and about 155 for the boss itself. I'm not sure how much different it is from Queen 12. So 147 is going to be perfect there. You could probably go a couple speed down and above. But we're also going to need a 92% focus here. It's very crucial that you get at least 90% focus because the Queen boss is going to be stacking that resistance buff. So that's going to be our stats for RUJAGO. And we do not want the attack to be higher than Santis, even though Santis is our big source of damage. Next one up is going to be Santis, as I spoke about just now. And this one should be no surprise. We're using Santis. She's got 123% focus. The speed doesn't really matter. She's going to have a lot of speed already. You're going to want her to go before the boss, but that's, you know, at least 155 speed, and you're going to be running an Ascension 5 Santis. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You do need that Ascension 5 Santis. And if you have an Ascension 5 Santis, you're going to be at 159 speed, so it's going to be no problem. We have 20k HP and almost 1300 defense, and she is also in a revival set here. Let me just check here. Revival set. Again, we don't have the gear plus 15. We have a lot of improvement that we could get on this character. Next up is going to be Zatlux, and this one is going to be high gear requirements here. We have 5k attack, 316% crit damage, 145 speed. Again, doesn't matter if he's before or after the boss, doesn't matter about that at all. All you need him to do is go before the waves. Now the waves have about 139 speed, so if you go 140, you're going to be going before those crabs, and you're going to be no issues. Now, you don't need quite this much stats on your Zatlux. You can go a little bit less attack, a little bit less crit damage. That's going to be fine. But you do need quite a bit of attack and crit damage. And you do need that speed to be at least about 139, 140. So in order for you to go before the waves. Then we're going to have Mythasia here as the last character. And her gear requirements are quite simple. Just as much HP as you can get. You're going to want to get as much HP so you can heal as much as you possibly can. It actually is quite interesting to note that if you do have the second ascension for Mythasia, it will help you because you're going to be healing that extra 5% of max HP every once in a while when these characters are going to be auto-attacking with the shield buff from Mythasia or from the healing from the spell that we're going to be using. So that's going to be the squad so far. Also, her speed does not really matter. You can go at any time. I like to go right after the boss so you can heal up right after that. But we're going to go ahead and jump into a run here into Queen 14. Now, we are running the Gaia's Renewal and the Defense Down spell. Very, very important that you're running these. You're not going to be able to get through the waves without that Defense Down, and you're not going to have enough survivability without that healing spell. So the run is on auto here, and it's going to play out exactly how we showcased earlier on in the video. We're just going to go ahead and smack these crabs. Zatlux is going to go for the lower HP crabs. You can see there, it barely kills off that mini crab, and you're going to need to make sure that you kill off the mini crab with the Zatlux ultimate. Otherwise, you are going to lose. So you do need quite solid stats, but not super amazing in regards to when you start farming 14 dungeons overall. That crab is going to hit. We're going to lose all of our characters, and then we're going to get an extra turn the next turn, and we're just going to go ahead and slowly whittle down this other crab until Zatlux gets a turn, and he's going to finish off that second crab. Now, the time has passed to where the defense down spell is actually coming up right here, and so now we actually have the defense down spell for these mini crabs, so Zatlux can do the exact same thing as he did on the first wave, but now there's only one big crab to deal with, so now the big crab is just going to die within 2 rounds of Zatlux going, so we don't have to worry about the secondary revive. And I go ahead and just click on the revive right here. It's going to be a 5-turn cooldown, as you can see, because we revived 3 people. And it's going to go down to a 4-turn cooldown when we get to the boss fight. So it does get a little sketchy, and that's where you need a lot of the good stats in order for you to survive. We are targeting the boss, and we're just going to take some big hits here. There's the attack down that RUJAGO applied, as you can see in the top right underneath the Queen boss. And then as the right and left adds are going to go, you can see that they're going to get the attack down on them. And that's super, super, super important in order for you to survive long in this battle, because they do so much damage on this stage. For Queen 14, it's so much more than Queen 12. But Zatlux is going to tank the stun from the Queen boss. She's hitting the highest attack. The second highest attack is going to be Santis, and it's important that it is Santis, because if it's RUJAGO, then we're going to have the situation where RUJAGO could be stunned where he's supposed to place the unhealable, and then you have a big, big problem on your hands. Now, we're just going to let this play out. We do have to make sure that Santis is surviving, and so this run here is about a 90% win rate for me, but in order for it to be 100%, I need to do 2 things. One, I need my Zatlux either a little bit higher stats, or I need my Santis and RUJAGO higher stats, because you can see here they do get quite low, and will oftentimes die based on that 5% damage differential you could see there with RUJAGO and Santis. They got really low. I don't want to plus 15 the gear because I have Yolanda, so I'm going to be going ahead and using that comp. I just wanted to showcase the theory of this comp and what kind of stats you'll potentially need. You're going to need a little bit extra couple of K of HP and maybe some defense on your Santis and your RUJAGO for this to be 100% and for you to win every single time. But as I said, plus 15 gear is a big deal. So if you don't have Yolanda, this is the way to go. And it's pretty fun. It is faster than the Yolanda comp, but again, it is a little bit more gear intensive than that one. So I may end up plus 15 in gear later on. Right now, I am focused on some other things, but this is pretty cool because we are using RUJAGO back for Queen 14. And if you start with Mythasia in the beginning of the game, you immediately have a Queen 14 comp ready to go. You don't have to worry about Yolanda. You don't have to worry about Evra and those other characters that you potentially have to use for Queen 14. So this is a potential very good avenue for a lot of people who want to start with Mythasia, because Mythasia does have a lot of other bonuses later on in the game as well. Especially for the Void Tower comp, because it makes it so much easier to go ahead and auto through that if you have someone like Mythasia in the revive handy for your Cyruses and things like that. But this is going to be the end of the fight right here. The poisons are going to go ahead and tick and kill off the boss here, and that is our win. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. The RUJAGO is very cool in action, and you can see here it's about 430. It's actually a little slower than it was earlier. It averages about 420 to 425. On average, it will get to that number. Now, my averages go a little bit above that right now because I have that problem where sometimes my characters die, and I still win, but it adds a couple of extra rounds because Mythasia has to revive them. But that is going to be the Queen 14 with RUJAGO. It's pretty cool that I'm able to use this guy again. I thought I was going to be basically completely useless because I built him out for the Queen 12 speedrunning. And speedrunning in Queen 12 isn't as, prevalent because you want to go for those 14 dungeons. But now that we have a 14 clear with him, and it is a little bit faster, I'm pretty excited about it. So I thought I'd show it to you all. And hopefully this piques your interest, and maybe you decide to go ahead and build it out for yourself to speed up your run a little bit. Or if you don't have that Yolanda, as I mentioned, or Evra, you can go ahead and build this comp out with your Mythasia. So that'll be it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Let me know what you all think about this comp in the comment section down below, and I'll see you for the next one.